Hello and welcome back to my channel. So this is video 3 in a 3-part video series that I am doing for the Beaches and Books Readathon. So this readathon is being hosted by the following ladies: Paperbacks and Ponytails, Creatively Faithful, Christian Faith and Fiction, The Lucy Chronicles, and Celestria. So those ladies are hosting this readathon. And it is for like Christian fiction or I think like just kind of clean books. So I emailed Katie over at Paperbacks and Ponytails and asked her if it was okay if I kind of do an edition for middle grade books, and she was fine with that. So that's what this is. In my 3-part series, video 1, which is posted already, just kind of explains like what middle grade books are, the age range that it is geared towards, and what you would find in a middle grade book. In video 2, I went through the 12 prompts that are in this readathon, and I recommended 2 middle grade books for each prompt. And in this video, I am going to give you my TBR, or to be read. And so I filmed originally all in one shot, and so we're gonna cut over to that in just a minute. But in that little section, you're gonna see my list. So anyways, we'll see you over there. All right, so these are my picks for the summer readathon. I'm gonna show you all 12 of them. We will see how far we get, but I'm gonna show you the 12 I picked for each prompt. So prompt number 1 was pick a book from the library. I don't really go to the library, so I picked a book from the bookstore. So hopefully that's fine. But the Bookwanderers, I've heard a lot of good things about this. Again, none of these I've read, so we have no idea if they're good, bad, appropriate, or anything otherwise. They're the books I'm gonna read. I will tell you about it when I'm done. But this one, I think that she can go in and out of books as she reads them, and she needs to save her mom or something. So again, fantasy is what I gravitate towards. So that's my pick from the bookstore. A book you saved for later. So this book has been on my list forever, the Wingfeather Saga. When I posted it on Instagram, I got so many comments about like, oh, it's so good, and I've heard about it forever, that this book is so good, and I've never read it. And so I'm like, now is the time to read book 1 of the Wingfeather Saga. I have no idea what it's about, other than I think there's like toothy cows or something. So I think it's kind of silly. Yeah, toothy cows and real sea dragons. Another fantasy. Let's see how many fantasy books we have in this. And I've heard it's really good. We'll see. The next book is a book that made waves in the community. So went with a very serious and probably maybe slightly older than middle grade, maybe more like upper middle school, high school, but The Outsiders. I never read this when I was a child or teenager, but I felt like this one has definitely passed the test of time. So we'll give this not fantasy, realistic fiction. A book you think will be 5 stars. Okay, so again, if you follow me on Instagram, I talked about book 1, which was, I don't know, they're all like puns on Myrtle. Oh gosh, what is the first book? Hang on. Premeditated Myrtle. Premeditated Myrtle, How to Get Away with Myrtle. This book, oh my gosh, the book 1, I just died laughing. It is so funny. It is such a cross between like Sherlock Holmes, Nancy Drew, and like Anna Green Gables maybe. Like it's like Victorian England, but she's like really smart. Yeah, she's brilliant. She reads like Greek and Latin, and has like her governess, and who comes in and helps her solve these crimes too. And then of course her dad's a lawyer. And anyways, so that's like the Nancy Drew similarity. Like brilliantly written, very funny, very entertaining. I have a lot of hopes that this is gonna be a 5-star book. So, but I can recommend book 1 for sure. So, okay, a book about friends, Sweep. I've also heard so much about this book, but I've heard that it will make you cry. And I will say it is June like 28th, I think, and I'm cheating a little bit because I did start this. So I'm sorry to admit that I'm recommending books for children, and I'm admitting to you that I started already. So there we have it. Does it still count? But I did start this, and I just am like, oh, I need to read it first. I need to get it over with. I don't like books that make me cry, and I've heard that this one is gonna make you cry. But it's really good so far. So we'll see. I haven't cried yet. Okay, so then a book with an underwater setting. I'm picking another Lauren Martin book. I'm telling you, I just love her books. So this is the Monster Missions, and there they are swimming around underwater. Again, I have no idea what it is. It's probably fantasy because she writes a lot of fantasy, and it's underwater. We'll see what happens. So a book with a sun or a yellow cover, I thought I didn't pick thick enough books yet, so why not pick a classic with like 300 pages to add to this and see if we can read all of this in July. Oh, 400 pages, 384 pages. Why not? But I didn't read any of the classics as a kid. I'm trying to get them all in now. But King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, lots of yellow there. And again, I think kind of fantasy, right? Like castles and things like that. So I got that book. Then a book with royalty or a castle. So Goose Girl, going strong in the fantasies, people, going strong in the fantasies. This, I believe, is a retelling of a fairy tale. And Shannon Hale, she wrote, if you read the like Princess in Black books, she wrote those. I love those books for kids, but I guess she's written a lot of older kids for, she hasn't written kids, a lot of books for older children also. So we're gonna give this a go. All right, let me reach down for the next pile. Okay, book about sports. So this book, I don't know, I need to scan it because it's like younger, definitely looking more towards the 8 years old of this 8 to 12 spectrum, like really big font, lots of white space, but it looks so good. The hero 2 doors down, and I guess it's based on a true story with Jackie Robinson and when he played for the Brooklyn Dodgers, and it's written by his daughter or granddaughter, I don't remember, but I thought how precious, and you can't go wrong with a true story. And so anyways, I'm excited to give this one a try. Another baseball book, so there we have it. Then a book with 2 points of view. I'm picking Ground Zero. Again, don't know a lot about it, but it's one of those, every other chapter is a different point of view. So I thought this one would be good for that prompt. And then a book to read during a rainstorm. Again, trying to pick a little bit shorter books, but so far, I don't know. We need to see how many pages and let's just see what we get through. But this is The Princess and the Goblin. And so I've read George MacDonald. I think it's called The White Princess. And I read it years ago. I think I was still in college, and it was really good. And I've heard this one is really good too. So going strong on the fantasy. Like half of those books, over half of them are fantasy. And then we're gonna cap it off with a book set in the beach town. It's so hard to find these, but Nancy Drew Diaries, bringing it back to when I was a kid. I love Nancy Drew, all my Nancy Drew fans, where are you at? But this is the Nancy Drew Diaries, I think are like kind of the newer set. I think they're all by a pen name, so a lot ever since Nancy Drew started, I think it's always a pen name, and so that's why it's gone on forever. But the Nancy Drew Diaries, I think, are like the modern, and then written for a little bit younger. I think in the original she's like 18, and then I think she's younger than these. Oh, there's a receipt. But anyway, so again, you can kind of see just like larger print. So definitely probably closer to like that 8 to 10, but the Phantom of Nantucket. So we'll probably read this one like right after one of the books that makes me cry. Gotta get just like a feel-good Nancy Drew book. So anyways, those are my 12 picks for the Beaches and Books Readathon, starting in July, unless you start sometime in late June. But anyways, I hope that you find some of the books that you like. I hope that you think about reading some of the books and join the readathon. All right, well, hopefully you enjoyed looking at the list of books that I have planned to read for this month. And I will tell you, it is now July, so I am okay to be reading this now. It is officially July. I'm almost done with this. I think I have about 100 pages left, and I have definitely cried. It is absolutely beautiful. I will give a little bit of a review on it in another video. But we had a lot of pages to get through for this month, and so I just needed to get the head start. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you jump in on the readathon, and I hope that you pick a few middle grade books. So have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.